Hey everyone, how's it going? What is up? It is me, Twister Windstalker, bringing you my first video of the new year. I hope it is going good for everybody, and everybody is enjoying 2018. Man, it's weird to say 2018. I mean, it just seemed like it was yesterday that it was 2017. Oh, wait, it was yesterday that it was 2017. That's right. And we have been below zero for a whole entire week, which sucked going to work in this weather. And then outdoors, we have a dusting. A little bit more than a dusting. It ain't quite an inch, but it ain't quite a dusting because it covered a lot of stuff. So, what a great way to start off the new year. So, let's talk about some things that I got for Christmas. And one of the first things we're going to talk about is this thing, the Super Nintendo Classic, aka the Super Nintendo Mini. And let's compare it to my original Super Nintendo that I have. Alright, where did I do with my... Oh, there it is. How can you miss this ginormous thing? I mean, look at this. It's a third the size of the Super Nintendo. Weighs a lot less, and I know my Super Nintendo don't look good, but this is what happens when you have a Super Nintendo for like 30 years and it gets light. Yeah, I know I can clean it, but I'm too lazy. But the thing I like about this is that not only do you get the capability of connecting this to your Wiimote, because it uses the same little hidden thing as the hookup as the Wiimote, but you got these nice crisp controllers that actually have buttons that work, unlike my Super Nintendo controller where the going right actually is caved in quite a bit. And while it still works, it's not as responsive, and I have found that I do a lot better in Super Nintendo games with this. And while this is basically a glorified $80 emulator machine, and you could probably build it cheaper with a Raspberry Pi and the 21 games that come on this, I own a bunch of them. Like, let me show you the games that I own that is on this thing. You're gonna love this. Okay, so we're back, and while some of these games aren't on the Super Nintendo Classic, I've decided that I was going to show them to you anyway, because some of these I'm glad they're not on the Super Nintendo Classic. Some of these I wish they were. Like, let's start with this one, Cool Spot. Yes, 7-Up had its own mascot video game before it had Make 7-Up Yours, or whatever it is. That got my dad in trouble because he had the t-shirt that the lady only saw Up Yours on the back of it and didn't read the front of it, and she got all mad. But yep, here's the original 7-Up video game of video games, and it's an okay platformer. It gets ridiculously hard way too fast, but whatever. Now, this is one of my favorite games, and it is on the Super Nintendo Classic, and I have played the crap out of this game. I didn't even know this game existed. Okay? I didn't know this game existed till my dad brought it to me for my birthday, and it's Earthbound, aka Mother in Japan, and this happens to be Mother 2, or Earthbound. And this is on the Classic, which I have been told that this game is worth a lot. Now, I don't know if it diminished since, you know, it's on the Classic or not. And in box, this thing can rack up a pretty nice price. But I have a physical copy of it right here. So, that is awesome. Alright, now we're getting into this game that I got and it's called Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage, and this is a platformer, and it boasts a whopping 12 megabytes, or 12 megs, and it's an okay game. I don't know. It took me years to actually get anywhere in this because I didn't play it enough, didn't care about this game. But now I got pretty far in this game, so maybe one day I will beat it. Maybe. Now here's a game that could have been on the Super Nintendo Classic, and it's Ramna 1.5. What's the subtitle on this one? Hard Battle? Yeah, Hard Battle. And it's an okay game. I don't know. It's not a favorite. Now here's a game, and I know I said that it should have been on it, but I mean, they have Star Fox too, so. Now here's a game that really should have been on the Super Nintendo Classic. Maximum Carnage, where you can play as Spider-Man or Venom, and it has this nice red case. Oh yeah. Now this definitely should have been on the Super Nintendo Classic, because if it had, that would have been awesome. And my record is not staying put, so we got to take care of that. Now here's another game that could have been on it, and I know this isn't owned by Nintendo, and some of these that I mentioned isn't owned by Nintendo. Like Maximum Carnage is owned by LJN, and I don't know what Ramana was made by, but Killer Instinct, which was done by Rare. Now this was pretty awesome looking back in the day, and now it looks horrible on HD TVs, but it should have been on there. It's a pretty good fighter. I like it. It's a solid fighter. Oh man, can you imagine if they added this one? Mario Paint. Yes, I own Mario Paint, and somewhere I have the mouse and all that on it, and the best game is that fly swatting game. Other than that, and maybe the music making game. Other than that, I don't know. Ah, and here is a version of a game that is on it, because they have Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighters, or whatever the name of that is. And here's the good old original Street Fighter, which I wish they had put on there instead of that Hyper Fighters, because I think this is more solid than the Hyper Fighters, but whatever. Woo! Hey. Ah, and here is another game that they put on the Classic Mini, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. Man, I've logged so many hours on that, and I am going to get back to playing this game and finishing this game on this channel. I haven't forgot about it. I may start over and do this a little bit different than the way I had previously done this one, just for the fact that I'm happy with it, but I'm not 100% happy with it. So I may redo this entire series and do this better. And since it's emulated, it makes it a lot better to not have to always start at the house and then do a lot of editing. I can, you know, make this a lot easier. Ah, here's another game that surprisingly is on the Super Nintendo Classic. And I don't know how Nintendo really got the rights with it, unless, but anyway, it is Mega Man X. I saw its choice, but I was actually surprised that this was actually on the Super Nintendo Classic, because wow, we get a Mega Man game. Astounding. Now here's a game that really should have been on it, and I could have logged a whole lot more hours on it, especially with the save states, because this game is hard enough as it is, especially when you're doing one player, and the difficulty ramps up even more when you do it as two player, and it's Zombies Ate My Neighbors. So this should have definitely been on there. I don't know who. Oh, Konami. Oh yeah, this should have been on the Nintendo Classic. And here is a game I believe that is on it. I forgot exactly. There's 21 games on it. I know Star Fox and Star Fox 2 is on it. But Super Mario RPG. I have logged so many hours on this game. It is freaking ridiculous. But I like it. Okay. Whew. Oh, yeah. Alright, let's move ahead. Mario Kart. for the Super Nintendo is on the Mini. They added 2 Kirby's and a Mario Kart, but they couldn't add Chrono Trigger. They have Secret of Mana, which I don't currently own, which was a good choice. But yeah, they should have added this too, because this is a very solid game. And I know this have been put on PlayStation 1, and you know, I rebought it on PlayStation 1, but they should have added it to the Mini. I mean, Square. I mean, I know you had some problems with Nintendo in the past, but come on. And Donkey Kong Country is another one that's on there. And it's as hard as ever. I remember reading about this in Nintendo Power and getting that VHS tape that told you how awesome this game was and how this was made on a supercomputer and downgraded to the Super Nintendo, and it uses all kinds of chips and whatever to make this thing powerful and look awesome. And then, of course, they could have added Donkey Kong Country to Diddy Kong's Quest. And that would have been awesome. But they decided, oh, now we get down to the last 2. Now, this one definitely should have been on there, and it's Secret of Evermore. I've played the living dog crap out of this one, and this should have definitely been on it. And it's another Squaresoft game. Can you imagine that? Square. Hello, Square. And then we have the 2 games that I find hilarious that were missing, but because Nintendo probably wanted to keep their classic PG-13, since they're known to do that. And it's Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2. I'm showing both these at once just because Mortal Kombat 1 on the Super Nintendo sucked. And to be honest with you, I mean, it was an alright game, but when you could go to the Genesis, and I used to be pro Nintendo because my parents would only let me have one console up until I started buying PlayStation and all this. And you could actually have blood in the Genesis version. What's the point of having this? Oh, that's right, you're a Super Nintendo owner. You don't deserve blood. Until this came out. And then Nintendo changed their tune. And I got lucky enough because both these cartridges are before the rating system, and neither one of them says teen on it. Can you imagine that? 2 Super Nintendo games that doesn't have teen on it. And then we go back in time and we look at this, and this says kids to adults, and that's Secret of Evermore. And then we look at Mario Kart, which isn't rated, so we'll put rated and unrated in 2 different piles. Chrono Trigger is kids to adults. Zelda is unrated, because that came out way before the Mortal Kombat fiasco. Donkey Kong is kids to adults. Donkey Kong Country 2 is kids to adults. Mega Man is unrated. Can you imagine that? I'd imagine it'd be kids to adults because of the Maximum Carnage is unrated. Surprising. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is unrated. Cool Spot is unrated. Oh, I put that on the wrong pile. There we go. Killer Instinct is teen. Earthbound is kids to adults. Super Mario RPG, The Legend of the Seven Stars is kids to adults. Street Fighter and Ramana is both unrated. Unless that DTMC has anything to do with a rating system, but I don't think it does. And Mario Paint and Bugs Bunny are both unrated. So, out of my collection, and I know it ain't a very big collection, these are the games that are rated. which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and these are the games that are not rated. Ooh, and I dropped them. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. It's like, and then out of the 21 games, I have a few of them. Imagine that. I mean, I could go back to collecting more of these and have more of those. That's going to suck to get. But let's move on, shall we? So, I showed you the Super Nintendo Mini. And now we're going to talk about this, the Nintendo Switch. I finally got one for Christmas, and if you can't tell by the color of the Joy-Cons, this is the Splatoon 2 edition, which was my free game. And what games do I have on here? Let's take a look. Alright. We got... Well, let's just do it this way. We got Super Mario Odyssey, obviously, which I have beat the main quest. Now I'm just working on the Moon, and then Moon 2 is the last phase of this before you can complete it completely. Mario Kart 8, which I own this on the Wii U, but since this has everything that you could buy on the Wii U, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get everything on this. And all you have to do is unlock it. A lot better than paying money for it. And then this is another second buy. Woo, I dropped it. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I have this on the Wii U. And I got it for the Switch because I like the Switch. And the only other game on here that I do not have, or that's downloaded, is Project Octopath Traveler demo version. I liked that game. I can't wait for the full game out. The only two games that I'm actually going to add to this that aren't physical, because this is going to be my physical media gaming console. Like my PlayStation 4 is, you know, physical. I mean, I do have digital downloads, but I'm kind of regretting getting digital downloads on it, in which I bought more physical copies. My Xbox is digital until eventually I get a Xbox One X, and from what I've been told and what I've heard, it takes additional 15 to 20 gigs or better to bump up some of the HD features and everything in some of the games. And it's like, well, I got a 4 terabyte hard drive. I'm going to have to buy another 4 terabyte hard drive to be able to put that on there. So should I buy this, or should I continue with digital media? I'm torn on that because I'm not thinking about getting one for a while, because I don't even have a 4K TV, and it kind of defeats the purpose, I think, to have an Xbox One X and not a 4K TV. But the other two games I wanted to get for this is Rocket League, because I'm addicted to car soccer, and Stardew Valley, which I am addicted to as well, are two of the downloadable games I want on this. Now, if they release, and I doubt Nintendo will let them release it, if they release PUBG or Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch, which I doubt, I'd get them again. The purpose being, I mean, Rocket League. I know I need Wi-Fi to play it because it's basically a multiplayer game. But if I'm not in the mood to turn on the Xbox just to play Rocket League, and I'm playing Mario or Zelda and getting mad at one of them, and I'm like, I want to play Rocket League, I don't have to leave this console to do it. And it's only $20 for both of them. It's like, and I haven't seen any games coming out this year that I really want so far for the Switch. Now, I do want to go back and get Xenoblade Chronicles for the Switch and try that game out, because that game looks awesome. And if they come out with Smash Brothers for this, I'm definitely going to have to get it, because I love me some Smash Brothers. If they come out with a Pokemon game for this, I'm going to have to get it, because I love me some Pokemon. But looking at the stuff that's coming out this year, unless I go back like on Xbox and get like Need for Speed, Payback, or some of those other games that's already been released, I really don't see much on there that I really want coming out yet this year. And that record is in the wrong spot. I'm going to eventually, that's one thing I'm going to have to do with work on this year. Well, actually, it is in the right spot. I thought I had more records than that. Oh, where's my Nirvana? I did have more. Oh, I dropped one. Oh, that's Nirvana. I thought I had another one. Oh, yeah, my White Snake probably fell behind the couch. I gotta definitely work on getting those on the wall so that this couch will stop knocking them out behind them. But yeah, my wife loves this thing and has been playing the heck out of Super Mario World, which is a game I don't currently own for the Super Nintendo, because my copy for some odd reason got disappeared. And yeah. Oh, and with the Switch, I got a soft case for it that holds games. And I'm going to eventually upgrade the case where I can actually get another base. Because I want to have because I'm working on setting up the computer area where I can record video from over there on the Super Nintendo, PlayStation, and this thing. Since this doesn't have a recording capability, it has the record that feature where you can record like 30 seconds of video or whatever. I want to be able to record it over there with the Elgato so that I can, get some footage. And yeah, not looking forward to going outside to having to clean the car off with the snow. That's not going to be fun. But yep, I hope you guys have a wonderful new year, a wonderful start to your new year. And if you did get snow and you're going to go out, be careful, because it's like negative, it's like 13 degrees, 20 degrees outside or something. I don't plan on going anywhere because I'm actually on holiday from work and I don't have to go anywhere, so I'm not going to go anywhere. And you guys take it easy, be nice, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And I want to add one more thing before I leave you guys, because I just remembered after I was putting everything up that I forgot one of my games. And this must have been, I must have switched out my original copy with another copy. And that's Super Metroid, which is a kids to an adult game. So we can't forget to add this one, because yeah, so kids to adult. But as I said before, and this is even the Player's Choice Million Seller Edition. So while I wish I had a version before this, I'll take this, because I played the crap out of this. I'm playing the crap out of it on the Super Nintendo Classic. So there we go. So again, have a wonderful New Year's. I'll see you guys Wednesday, because I'm getting back to my Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule with maybe a Sunday video. The snow outside, I got to take care of that. And take it easy, and I'll see you guys next time.